This episode is brought to you by the new D9 Business Directory. Shop Greek owned brands from a variety of categories. And if you're a Greek author or business owner, add your profile today at d9business.com. Honoring those trailblazers who preceded us is just as important as leaving a legacy for those who will follow us. Greekly Speaking is about highlighting Greeks today who are creating positive change for tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Hi, welcome to Greekly Speaking. I'm Eric Tucker, and joining me for this episode is Dr. Ansel Johnson of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Dr. Johnson was initiated in the Lambda Omicron chapter of Phi Beta Sigma in 1979. He received his Doctor of Optometry degree from the New England College of Optometry in Boston, Massachusetts, along with postgraduate certification from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. He's the founder and clinical director of the Vision Salon in Blue Island, Illinois. Please welcome to Greekly Speaking, Dr. Johnson. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Eric. Just blessed and tremendously privileged to be sitting here with you.
The privilege is all ours, man. I'm glad you're able to make it. Hey, we connected recently on social media. We saw some content that you posted and some of the things you're trying to do as far as vision and health awareness in the community. And we said we had to reach out, man, and just connect with you for some good information health wise and learn a little bit more about your brand and the services you're providing in that Chicagoland area. But first, as we do on Greekly Speaking, we have to know who we're dealing with. We learn a little bit about your Greek background, man. Did you have any Greek influences coming up?
Actually, no. Neither one of my parents, even though they went to HBCUs, were in Black Greek letter organizations. So this is organic. And at Illinois Wesleyan, it's PWI, where we just had an opportunity to actually, I'm the charter on the charter line and charter president of our undergrad line. And it was just an opportunity to just do something special, looking at the values and the philosophy of Phi Beta Sigma, the founders, is just tremendous. And as we learned, there was 12 of them in our line. In our school, again, less than 3% African American student body, but 12 African American men, young men, to come together to start a chapter was historical. And we'd like to think that we set the bar real high, because out of our line of 12, we have 5 doctors and everybody's a professional. So from orthopedic surgery to anesthesiology, we have 3 optometrists. So we're really proud of that. And of course, we all still keep in touch. And it was just a tremendous opportunity. We about a mile and a half down the street from Illinois State chapter. And so we had a little bond. And what was interesting, we were the taller chapter. So they'd have Greek games at Illinois State, and they'd recruit us to play for them for their Greek games. Because again, I'm number 10, I'm 6'2". Behind me was 6'4", and then we had 6'5" behind that. So it was real
Wow.
fun playing as a combined chapter in the Greek games at Illinois State. It was very, very competitive. And so that was a lot of fun. So but we did some real interesting and some really good things.
Hey, that's great, man. So 10 deep, huh? Or 12. So what was the name of the line?
SS first.
SS
Obviously.
First. That's your charter. Okay. Love it. Love it.
So
And what was your line name?
Ant, believe it. Not because I'm small in stature, but Ant. And we'll leave it at that.
You
But
know, with those folks who played your old school, they end up using that phrase a lot. We'll leave it at that.
yeah, but in my greeting, I go by Dark Thunder, Chocolate Wonder, the biology prodigy destined for optometry. So I like that one. I still remember it.
Say that one more time.
Big brother Dark Thunder, Chocolate Wonder, the biology prodigy destined for optometry. Big brother that makes the alpha shake, kappas quake, and turns Q dogs into pups. That was my greeting. Old school. Old school.
I thought you were going to add Big Brother Dean Almighty on the end of that, but that's all right, man. Hey, I love it. That is so far the number one greeting that we have heard on Greekly Speaking, and we're gonna have to come up with a
Once in a
spinoff just
while.
to dive deeper into those scenarios, man. But that's wonderful. That is
That could be a
wonderful,
whole show.
man.
What was your greeting? What was your greeting? That would be a nice show.
What was your greeting? Yeah, we won't get into mine because this is all about you. So, what came first, man? Your passion for Sigma, your passion for optometry.
Wow. Well, I was a Sigma first, right? So, but I was obviously I was interested in being an optometrist too, and like I said, it was to be something special to. I think we all try to be an asset to our organization, and it was a means to do that. I love what I do. I'm very passionate. One of the things that got me into optometry was that out of 25,000 optometrists at the time, we're talking, and again, in the mid 80s, late 70s, there are only 400 African American optometrists. And now there's still less than 1,000 out of 45,000 in the country. So we make up less than 2% of that
Hmm.
profession. But yet eye care and eye issues gonna touch everybody, every life eventually, right? So even if you've never had glasses all your life, eventually you get into those 40s, 50s, and the computer stuff, you might need a little help then. So this also ties into our overall health. Diabetes is one of the leading causes of blindness. Glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness in our community. There are a lot of our children that are in schools that have visually related learning problems, even though they might pass the screening seeing 20/20. So in terms of impact on our community, lifestyle, we touch people every day. And unfortunately, growing up and throughout life, many of us have never seen an eye doctor that looks like them. And so that's what I'm passionate about giving us the highest level of care. We have a very technologically advanced practice where we have technologies and diagnostic instrumentation to manage eye disease, eye problems that a lot of the teaching institutions, the large major clinics and hospitals don't utilize on a regular basis. And studies show, and this is documented, it's not any big secret that African American patients do better with African American doctors. There's a study out of California that you know black patients that see black cardiologists tend to do better, less hospitalization, and live longer. So that's documented. And so now my passion, I looked at it as an opportunity because there were so very few of us, and yet to enhance people's lives every day, their everyday quality of life. Now we got to play it forward and help lift up other people and to at least look at this field if you're considering it. Because, for example, in the Chicago area where I am located, when I started my practice, there were probably about 25, 30 African American owned independent practices. Now there's only four of us. So people, I tell that to people, it's like, wow, how did that happen? Well, uh, again, people aren't used to seeing black eye doctors and don't think about it. So, and a lot of the schools have not done a really good job in terms of their diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so those are things that we're demanding now with my vendors and on all different levels, be it the technician side to being sales rep, pharmaceutical reps, to being selling frames. One of the things we're looking at, we're the first office in the Chicago area, white, black, or green, to bring back FUBU eyewear for us by us. Damon Johnson has re-released his brand in eyeglasses. So we want to make sure the word gets out on that brand, and we're looking at bringing in some additional ones. Another one is Coco and Breezy. There's two sisters out of New York, DJs that have a phenomenal looking brand, and so we're looking to expand that. And so we're looking for young people that are interested in the sciences in terms of being a doctor. It's 4 years after college and an additional 1 year residency. But again, the opportunities are tremendous.
I think you touched on a key point. A lot of us as children base our set of options on what we see, right? I mean, and if we see examples of people in these various fields that leave that impression upon us, right, we're more apt to, add that to the list of options. And, I commend you for, and I heard you speak on your passion about, helping our community in particular, and you're actually located not far from where I grew up in Chicago. I was like, man, that's pretty close to where I actually grew up, and I wish we had the option at that time of going to different doctors in various fields that were actually closer to us, more accessible, right? And that could actually provide that level of care. And that was not the case back then. So I commend you. And you've been doing this since 1990 in that area. What have you seen as far as trends? I mean, you're obviously really close to the community. Are you seeing an increase in awareness of health in your particular space?
Short answer is no. There's so many deficits. I mean, if you just look at the COVID-19 situation, it's something we've always known that there's been health disparities and things of that nature in our community. But it's just really brought it to the forefront and in people's faces. You know, we're dying more from COVID. The bottom line, we're just dying from lack of knowledge and lack of understanding. And basically, when you break it down to people, this is operational situation in our office. We ask for your medical and your vision insurance. Most people, what you need my medical insurance for? Well, because if I see something going on in your eyes, possibility of stroke, or I see bleeding in the back of the eyes, and I need to do some more in-depth evaluation, that falls under your medical insurance. So we need both parts so we can maximize your own benefits. Whereas a lot of our people have gone to corporate places where the business model is just simply to sell you glasses, and they don't get all deep into the other stuff. They may refer you out, you know, if something serious looks like, you know, might be in jeopardy, which is fine. But we're like your primary care provider for the eyes, and we connect with your primary care physician. We connect with your, if you're living with diabetes, with your endocrinologist, cardiologist. We communicate and let them know, hey, this is what we're seeing that's going on in your eyes, or their blood pressure. We catch so many people. We check blood pressures, and people are surprised. Why do you check my blood pressure? I just came in here to get a pair of glasses. Well, guess you'd be surprised at people that we have found with extremely high blood pressure and we're totally unaware of it. So, or at high risk for stroke, or diabetes, or even autoimmune disease like sarcoid or lupus, because their eyes are dry. And those can be some of the very early signs of that. But a lot of eye doctors don't talk to their patients on that level and try to connect those dots. Yeah, we can help you look good with some nice glasses from Fubu or Coco and Breezy, but understand the other aspect of it. Other things that people don't hear about is there are different lenses you can get for the computer other than your regular no line bifocals or the whole thing of reading. So there's a lot of specialty treatments on your lenses that can help enhance your lifestyle and make things a little bit more comfortable. People are getting Zoom fatigue and eye strain, and you know, I'm prescribing a lot of glasses for kids that normally would not have to, but they're on the computer or remote learning so much. So again, we touch so many aspects of people's lives, and unfortunately, people don't run into that real often. But again, we're trying to play it forward and just build awareness. So that's why I get excited about the opportunity to share my passion and what we do, you know, and let people know. You might not be in Chicago, but guess what? There might be an African American optometrist in your area, in your city, and there are a few of us all over the country that we can steer folks to.
I would love it if we could help share that list of resources, because we're now in a climate where I think a lot of people have a greater interest in supporting Black business owners and keeping the Black dollar in the Black community a little bit longer than it has been traditionally. And for me personally, one thing that I just reflecting on all of my visits to optometrists, I've rarely seen an optometrist that wore glasses. I can't think of a better way to support vision health than with an optometrist who's actually proven that vision health is important. You know, I like the frames that you're rocking right now, man. That's classy. So, you know, the other thing that you touched on was diabetes, and we know there's a correlation between vision health and diabetes. And you're also one of the founders of Knockout Diabetes, right? Tell us a little bit about that organization and what it does.
Well, our Knockout Diabetes program is actually our nationally certified diabetes education program that we have in our office. I treat diabetes classes. I have a registered pharmacist and I have a certified dietitian. And basically, by being nationally certified, that means people can usually get it paid for through their insurance. But we are the only eye care facility with that type of program in the state of Illinois, one of two in the country. There's a sister by the name of Paula Newsom, who's a Delta in Charlotte, North Carolina. And both of us have certified programs, only two in the country, and both of us are Black owned, right? So that just shows our commitment to really taken it to another level. So most of the time when people are told that they are living with diabetes or that they're borderline, most of the time they are not referred to a diabetes education program. Most of those programs are in your large hospitals or large clinic situations. Well, we have a little bit more flexibility. We can do it in the evenings. We can do it on Saturdays. We can do it remotely. So we have a little bit more flexibility with people in terms of meeting them where they are with this program. And it's also documented and shown that once people have gone to uh, through a diabetes education program, 3, 4 sessions or more if needed, they can control their blood sugars better. They can lose weight better because then they kind of know the mechanics. Most people say, well, I know what I'm supposed to eat better. I know I'm supposed to exercise, but they're not, where people stumble at is that step-by-step process to do it instead of just trying to join a gym or go to a boot camp and lose a whole lot of weight quickly. But then how do you maintain it? It's about lifestyle change. And it's not about, well, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Well, a lot of times you can't eat some of the stuff you were eating. It's just portion control and turning that corner and moving that in that direction. The big thing now is vegan. A lot of people are going vegan, which is a very, very healthy, very useful means of losing weight. Everyone might not want to do that, but again, if we can move the needle more in that direction, it's going to help you. Different supplements and just giving people guidelines on how to live your best life. It's not a death sentence when you're told you're living with diabetes, and catch it early and deal with it early. So another thing we deal with when patients are told that they're borderline or watch their sugar, that's when it really should be addressed more strongly. And again, if you just lose 5 to 7% of your body weight, you can sometimes even avoid getting full-blown diabetes where you have to buy medications and pay copays and all of that. So again, we've just taken it to a whole nother level because of our commitment to our patients and our community.
I think right now there are going to be a lot of people in our audience listening to this that wish you were their primary care physician because just that information alone and the fact that you're willing to share all these other aspects of health and wellness, right? And some of it is, hey, treating, specific conditions or symptoms, but a lot of this can be prevented with the proper amount of awareness. And I think you touched on that. But a lot of people don't feel comfortable sharing everything. A lot of us brothers don't want to go for these, checkups and things like that. But I think once you increase that comfort level, to your point that you made, if I see more people that look like me, that increases the comfort, which increases my participation in my own wellness. Right. So talk to me a little bit about the other organization that you founded, the Healthy Living with a Vision.
Yeah, to whom much is given, much is required. That's what we say at our church. And so this kind of falls from our diabetes education program or knockout diabetes. So a lot of times people, their insurance would not cover it, or they don't have insurance coverage, or we're out of network for them. And it's like, wow, there's a whole bunch of people out here that need this. How can we help people get this education? Because I still got to pay my diabetes educator, right? So I started a not-for-profit called Healthy Living with a Vision. And the initial impetus of that was to raise funds to help pay or provide scholarships for people to have diabetes education to help them live their best lives. And our day which we get our tax ID number was Juneteenth, 6/19/2020. So what better day could we have as our start date? But since then, we've really expanded that. So our basic mission is to eliminate healthcare disparities in the African American community. So with that being said, it's not just diabetes now. Now we've had some virtual town hall meetings on the COVID-19 situation and the vaccines. One of our board members, and I got to say, this is not just me, but we have a phenomenal board, is an African American physician that is board certified in immunology and allergy. So same credentials as Dr. Fauci. So he's our Black Dr. Fauci, and he's conducted, well, we've probably had about 5 or 6 of these town hall meetings, virtual town hall meetings with huge success and growing, listenership. So, and then we're also another project that we have on that, and we just found out today we have Comcast, who's one of our major sponsors, coming on board. But we also just did a town hall meeting on low vision, people that are legally blind that think they can't do they can't see, they can't, like drive, but there's so many things they can do to enhance their lifestyle and vision and function normally. just because your normal your vision is subnormal or it's not, it's reduced. So there's that. We're going to do another one on lupus and sarcoidosis. So it's really in our community we just don't have the knowledge, and we want to be a conduit to get that knowledge out to the community, and we're committed to doing that. So that's another exciting passion that I have. And one other one is to bring more African Americans into our field. We have proposals out there to let our undergrad, we have undergrad chapters, the Divine9, as well as our own organization all over the country. And those that are interested in medical and healthcare professions need to look at optometry. And we can kind of help walk you through that and into that process if you're interested, those that are listening to here. Because there's scholarship monies out there. Some of these schools is finally getting their attention. Wow, all the other ethnic groups have increased in their percentage. So if you ask them, well, what's the minority population of your school? Oh, what's 50%? How many of them are African Americans? Then you get crickets, right? So no, we're asking what's the number for us, because that's what we need to impact our health in our community better.
You've been recognized by Black Enterprise magazine as one of America's leading 101 African American doctors, and I can see why, man. I mean, when you have passion, I think it adds to what you're able to accomplish professionally and as far as in the community. And that's a wonderful thing to see. That's a great example. So we appreciate that. For those folks in that Chicagoland area, where can they find you again?
We're located at 12812 Southwestern Avenue in Blue Island. We're just outside the South City limits of Chicago, near your old neighborhood. So we draw people from the north side, Chicago, west suburbs, south suburbs. So we're pretty easy to get to. Our phone number is 708 385 0013, 708 385 0013. And when in doubt, you can always find us on the web at www.visionsalon.com. Visionsalon.com. We're also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, VS Eye Care under Twitter. And if you Google Vision Salon, you'll find us.
Hey, I love it. Dr. Ansel Johnson with the Vision Salon in that Chicagoland area in Blue Island, Illinois. Thank you so much for the information and for spending a few minutes with us here on Greekly Speaking. I'm looking forward to hearing more about what you have going on with your foundations. So keep us posted, okay? And let us know if there's anything we can do to help support or promote anything you have going on, okay?
Most definitely. Thank you so very much, and you be blessed.